Well, let's get into it right now. This young lady, she's amazing. She began in February 5 years ago with ACN. She used to be a locksmith business. Her whole life, she's been an entrepreneur. And without further ado, the one and only regional director, Ms. Roxann Corralejo.
Everybody, happy Monday morning. I am excited. It's the start of a new week and I am ready to crush it. I don't know about y'all, but I love getting on these calls so much and starting Monday morning, because just to give it back to Mr. Thomas, I mean, his smile, his energy, his laughter, just how much fun he has is so infectious that it gets me pumped. I didn't always tune into these. I had all this stuff going on. I had appointments in San Antonio. These are at 11 a.m. So it's really hard to start my day, stop for this, and then continue my day. But I have made it a point to jump on mainly because of that attitude, that infectiousness. If you guys aren't feeding off of this, then what are you doing? Some people just watch this and are just so used to it that it doesn't faze you anymore. And I think it was Heather Peary that went into a conversation once about stuff that we're used to. It just doesn't affect us the same way or affect like a new person the same way. So thank you so much, Mr. Thomas. Thank you for your energy and all that you bring every single day to this call is just phenomenal. And it really gets me going and it gets me ready to work. I don't know about y'all, but I'm ready to work. Who's ready to put in some work, spring into action this April? Who's ready? Yeah, so y'all are lying. Y'all are lying to me and yourselves. I see people like this. They're like, oh yeah, I'm ready. Let's go. Y'all get pumped. Who's ready to spring into action? Who's ready to put in some work? All right. Yes, yes, I love it. Al Randolph, he's ready. He's like, let's get into this. The reason why is who you're being is so important to everybody out there. If you're not excited about what you're doing, how are you expecting other people to get excited about it too? Impossible. Completely impossible. You have to be excited about what you're doing for other people to get excited. So last month I talked about the DMO, the daily method of operation, your RD run. So I was already on my already RD when I started this DMO, but when I hit RD, I got so many points so quickly because that was my goal. I needed to qualify for this event. It was LCC and I needed to qualify for it and I did it. But what happened when I hit that goal? My business, I kind of slowed down. There was no consistency because I already made that goal. So this DMO is something that I sprung into action after the fact, like, hey, it doesn't matter. Goals are meant to be hit. When I hit these goals, I need to continue working because I want to progress. I don't know about y'all, but I don't want to stay RD. I'm going to be SVP. Not that I want to, I am going to. And I am asked often, what did I do? How did I stay committed? How did I keep up? How did I hit regional director? How can you help me? What advice do you have to help me reach regional director? I've been in this business for so long. I've done the basics. I still meet people. I still talk to people. Why am I not there yet? How can you advise me to get there? And this is it. I'm asked the secret and I gave that to y'all last week, the daily method of operation. Now, why do so many people take it for granted? One, because it's basic and simple, keeping track of your activity. That's it. And some people are like, no, I just work. I don't keep track of it. Well, there are a couple things that you're losing out when you don't keep track of your business. One of them is that accountability, holding yourself accountable. And I talked about an accountability partner. I'll get into that again later and why that's so important. But the second reason is follow up. If you're not tracking your business, you remember a handful of the people you talk to, whether it's through you or your team. But if you're not tracking it properly, you don't have the proper follow up. And that is why we see a number of times at an event, someone that you presented to 2 years ago, 3 years ago at an event on someone else's team, because you didn't follow up. You didn't stay committed. You didn't put in the work that's required. And that's what this DMO is for, to track everything. Because if you're staying as busy as you should be, it's nearly impossible to keep everything in here. Not nearly, it is impossible. I don't know who can. I know I sure can. And I always go back to my sheets. When I first started doing this, when I first signed up for Midnight Madness with Mr. Efren Tejada, I go back to those sheets and I look at every person I talk to. But not only that, I have other people at my team. We were growing so quickly. I had meetings with them, just us and them, tracking their business so I can know who I need to follow up with. Because if we're on a PBZ and we have 10 people on a call that I've never met before and I'm presenting to them, how am I supposed to follow up with people I do not know? So I write every single name down. I see the people on the call, I write them down. If it's Douglas Soto, Douglas, who is this person? Who is this person? Who is this person? And then I follow up with him. Hey, when can you get me in front of this person? Hey, how is Jessica doing? I know she was busy at that time a month ago. Let's check back in with her. Are you keeping track of your business that way? And it's impossible to keep it in here. So that is my secret, the daily method of operation. So when I did this on Monday, I was so excited. I had a whole bunch of you guys reach out to me. There were maybe like 60, 65 people on the call. I had 15 people reach out to me and ask for that DMO. At the time, right after the call, 12 people immediately. And I messaged Mr. Thomas like, I'm excited. I'm excited for the group of all the activity that we're going to be bringing in just because of this, because I know it works. I know what it can do because I've seen it. So I'm stoked. 15 people. I send this out to everybody. And I send every single person the same message in different words. But I'd love to follow along with you. I'd love to see how you're progressing. I want to, if it's okay, can you let me know what you're committed to in activity points this week? Not reps, not services, but activity points, what you're committed to doing this week. And I was ready for an explosion. Guess how many people messaged me back their commitment? Anybody, any guesses? Out of 15 people, everyone's guessing 0. If you're guessing 0, you know you're one of those people that didn't respond. I had one person, 4. All right, sensational Sharon, 4 people. I only had one person out of 15 that personally emailed me, and I personally emailed back wanting truly, not being fake, but truly wanting to see your success. I love seeing people succeed, and I'm really interested. And I had one person, and that was Miss Natasha Wing. Miss Natasha, I don't know if you're on this call right now, but freaking phenomenal. She's out of Edmonds, Alberta, Canada. So not even anywhere near me or anywhere that I go. And she reached out to me and she said, hey, would you mind being my accountability partner? She did not even stop at trying to tell me what she was committed to. She asked me to be her accountability partner. Guess what my answer was? Abso-freaking-lutely. I was hoping for everyone to say that. But no, we just had Natasha. We got on a quick call. We put some stuff together. And now she's on a weekly call with me and a couple of the other ladies. So I will give dues to where dues are due. I have Miss T. Hayes, Miss Heather Peary, and Miss Jen Olson. We are all on our accountability call together. We talk to each other twice a week. So they're not going to respond because I know where their business is. They know exactly where my business is. We bounce stuff off each other consistently. So out of those 15, those 3 ladies, I already know what they're committed to and what we're doing together as a team. Now, one single one of those ladies is in my organization. And to be honest, the only person in my entire organization that's still active is Mr. Douglas Soto. And that's everything in Spanish. That's something I can't even help with, except I call him and see how he's doing almost daily, see how I can help, see how things are going. But throughout his team, I can't. There's nothing I can do because I can't speak to them. But every now and then he asks me to show up somewhere or be on a call. And guess what my answer is? Absolutely. He translates and I'm on a call for him just a couple minutes, and then the whole thing turns to Spanish for an hour. So I'm just sitting there. But I am there because I am asked to be there. That's what an accountability partner is for. But when we start something new, keep it on this time here, perfect. When we start something new, like this DMO, it is hard, just like anything that we start new. A diet. Diets are hard when you start. Why? Because we aren't used to it, because we don't have that consistency yet, because we don't have that routine down yet. And I get it. This might be the transition point, like, hey, this is brand new. I've never seen this before, or I've seen it before. I've never tried writing stuff down, because I know I never used to. I'm like, why would I just waste time writing everything down? Now I know why, because it friggin' works. But I know it's hard to start something new. And I want to share this clip, and hopefully I can get it going, of someone starting something new. And why is it hard? Because we forget. Sometimes we do forget. Sometimes there are distractions. There are other people in our life. Then also this goes to accountability in letting other people know what you're doing as well, because they can hold you accountable. on one of these calls, I don't remember who it was, but it was someone's daughter. And was it Shaquille Cooper? I don't recall. Someone on this call said something about wanting to hit a certain position. And he had told his daughter, we're going to go to Disney World when he hit this position, not if, when he hit this position. And sometimes he wouldn't be working and she'd come up to him and say, Daddy, you need to get to work. We need to go to Disneyland. Even your daughter, even your kids, anybody can be an accountability partner. You have to let people know what you're doing. And I think I saw this morning and said I had to implement it because it made me laugh so hard. And so I'm going to share it with you.
Oh, you warmed it up?
Mm-hmm.
Dude. Fuck yeah. Oh, I was doing keto. I started keto today. I'll start tomorrow.
Wait, you started keto today?
Yeah.
We went and had burgers.
Son of a bitch, we did have a burger
And
today.
tater tots.
We started tomorrow.
Start tomorrow.
We start.
We went and had a burger with a
Look,
fried egg.
shut up, dude. It's fit. It's protein.
And you get a latte. Can you have a latte on?
No, it's a shaken espresso. That's not keto, is it?
No, I don't think
Nothing
so.
I had today was keto.
No. Really, everything you've eaten is not keto.
Nothing. Nothing at all.
I've been with you all day. I don't know what you thought you were
So,
doing.
a couple things here is his friend hands him a brownie and he starts eating. He's so excited about this brownie and he starts eating it. And he was like, oh man, I started keto today. And his friend starts laughing. And then you see his face kind of go straight like, dude, we just had a burger. What are you talking about? You started keto. So it started from the moment he woke up. He didn't even think after the espresso, after the shake, after the burger. It finally clicked when he had the brownie warmed up because he was so happy about it. Oh, crap, I'm on this keto diet. It took him half the day to remember that he started this keto diet. And one of the funny things is his friend had no idea. He was like, wait, you started this today? Like, maybe if he would have told him, he wouldn't have handed him a nice warm brownie. He wouldn't have been enabling him. But that's how everything happens when we start something new. And that's why I found it so funny, because the same thing with this DMO. It's brand spanking new. I get it. Sometimes y'all forgot about it until the end of the day. You lay down in bed and you're like, man, I was supposed to start this DMO thing. Well, it's a weekly, it's this sheet that tells you your activity for the week. So like he said, whatever, I'll just start it tomorrow. Maybe somebody else said, I'll start it next week. I don't want to tell Roxann I'm going to do 50 activity points, 30 activity points and have 0. I'll just start it next week. Don't do that. Don't do what he said. He could have put the brownie down and say, no, I need to stay committed to this keto diet, even though it screwed up half the day, but he didn't. This guy's still shoveling brownie in his mouth. How many of us catch at the end of the day, like, man, I didn't do anything today. Oh, well, I'll do something tomorrow. I have to double up what I have to do the next day. It doesn't work that day. It doesn't work like that. That's one great thing about this sheet that helped me, is that I got so busy with my other business that I was running and other stuff that I had going on that I'm like, you know what? I didn't do any ACN activity. And I'm laying in bed at 10, 11 o'clock at night and I shoot some Facebook messages over and I say, hey, tomorrow let's connect to chat. I have something I want to share with you. Even though I could have easily said, I'll do it tomorrow. First thing in the morning, when are you free to talk today? No, you have to have those activity points in so it gets you going. Put down that brownie. Don't continue to eat it and say, I'll wait till tomorrow. So I said 2 things that this sheet had helped me with. One of them was eliminating excuses. So at that point, I was like, I can't have excuses because I committed to doing this many activity points. I said I was going to get it done and it needs to get done. I hate excuses. At one point, people were calling me the excuse queen because every time they came up with an excuse, I'm like, I don't care. So one of the examples of this is when I was, I have 2 of them. Okay, I was on the accountability call with Mr. Efren Tejada. There's a whole bunch of people from California, and I'm the only one in Texas, and I think we had one person from Ohio, but everyone's in accountability on this call, and it's later for me. It's 2 hours later, so this Midnight Madness turns into 2 a.m. for me sometimes. But we have this huge storm. Sam Foster will remember a couple years ago, the entire city shut down. Like it was crazy. No electricity, pipes were bursting everywhere. All the highways were closed. They told you to stay off the roads. So it's Midnight Madness. It's Sunday night. And we get on this call and we have no idea what's going on. Weather is bonkers. It had just started and electricity goes out. And so now I'm being messaged to jump on this call and I can't. We have no electricity. I have no Wi-Fi. My cell phone service is crappy. And I'm like, I can't get on this call, you guys. I'm so sorry. It happens once a week. I have Mr. Mark Maples trying to call me. Maybe on the phone is better than a Zoom. Put me on speaker just so I can at least hear and be a part of this call because it's a leadership call. So the entire city of San Antonio and most of the state of Texas is shut down. But they wouldn't give me that excuse. I could have easily said, I can't, the world is like freaking out around here. But no, there was no excuse. They were going to try and do everything possible to make sure I was part of that call. Now, I wasn't able to get on because the service was crappy. It wasn't connecting. So what did I do? I mentioned to you guys before, we had to pay to do this accountability if we didn't meet our goals. And then we received payment if we were the top person that actually met the goals we set for ourselves. Well, first thing I did is I transferred money over and I said, all right, this goes to whoever's able to produce because I can't produce. Now that who would think that that would be a good excuse? Most people, that would be a good excuse, but for us, it wasn't. So one thing this thing can do is it eliminates excuses. Another thing was I was horribly sick, probably one of the times I caught COVID, ridiculous, accountability call again. I didn't want to jump on. I was miserable sitting there like this, just listening. And I didn't have activity. Didn't have the activity that I said I was going to have. There was always something going on this call, but not what I had committed to. And so they keep track of everything. We had an Excel spreadsheet. We knew where everybody was. So when it came to me, my numbers were a lot lower than they should have been or had been in the past, or even what I committed to. And Efren Tejada jumps on and one thing, asks everybody, what happened? How come your number's this? How come your number's that? And everyone's saying, oh, I had this going on. I had that going on. Work was crazy. The kid we had to take to the hospital, whatever the excuses were. It came to me and I said, I just didn't do the work. And I had an excuse. I had COVID. I was so sick. I didn't want to crawl out of bed. It was hard. I was awake probably 3 hours of the day. And I said, I just didn't do the work. On a group call, it doesn't matter what was going. The work wasn't done. And I got a text message right then and there from Mr. Trolley, who was on the call. He said, I don't like that excuse, but I love that reasoning. So it's just that I didn't make up an excuse and he didn't like that I didn't do the work, but he loved that I owned up to the fact that I just didn't do the work. That's what this DMO is there for. It shows you those weeks that you just didn't put in the effort. Why didn't you get an app that week? Why didn't you put in the customer this week? Well, look at how many people you actually talked to that week. That's exactly what that's there for, is to cut out all excuses and you know exactly why the results aren't there. It's because the work wasn't there. Now, the second thing, and this is what I'm going to end up, is the follow-up. I told you another reason why this is effective is your follow-up. I told you that if I commit to these points, I'm doing them no matter what. I'm making late night calls, these points are going in. So I had peaked someone at the beginning of the week, and let me go through with you. Where are we? Ooh, we are doing pretty dang good on time. So I peaked someone. He was my Uber driver here in Utah, and I created that rapport. I had some back and forth messages to him, and then I go into the peak, and I said, I'm always expanding my business. If you're open to making some extra cash outside of Uber, I'd be happy to connect and share with you how I've built my utility company to see if it's a good fit. I admire your entrepreneurship. Always compliment them. Mr. Thomas Head says that, compliment them no matter what. I said, I admire your entrepreneurship. Are you open to meeting up for an hour this week to discuss business? Now that was my peak to him. Super simple. Are you open to making more money? I love your entrepreneurship. Let's set a time to meet. And he said, I'm happy for you, Roxann. Me too. Oh wait, let's go down. That was just talking about the weather, which I always my favorite thing. But then he goes, that sounds interesting, and thanks for the offer. It is very sweet of you. I'm going to have to pass for the moment, not because I'm closed to new things. I love learning new businesses, ideas, strategies, etc. But I don't know if I mentioned it before. I am doing something on the side right now, and between Uber and this side business / training plus something else I may start soon, things are kind of crazy. I'll have I'll have your offer in mind, Roxann, and I'll for sure be contacting you after I clear things out because you are such a cool person and it is very interesting what you do. So we created that rapport. It was a great message, but guess what? It was a no. And how many of you guys would walk away from that no? He said no, let's move on, right? Pick a new person, let's talk to a new person, let's get more people in front of the business. Well, I didn't do that. I needed those presentation points to put on my DMO. So I said, I completely get it. No problem. I asked him what his side business is. I assumed it was network marketing, and it is. So I get why he didn't know ACN is network marketing yet at the time. We hadn't gotten there. So I said, well, you did mention because the network marketing company is a life insurance company. And I said, you did mention that your brother also does life insurance. I would love that partnership and see if maybe I can help his client save some money on some bills and maybe he can sell more policies that way. So I'm talking to the same person, went above and beyond, and now I'm going through his network. And he said, that I think would be awesome. He's down with you. And I said, great, I leave in a couple days. Let's sit down for coffee. I meet his brother's girlfriend. And I said, you know what? I haven't met him before. I'd feel more comfortable if you were there. Y'all, I'm not scared to talk to anybody, but I wanted him to see the presentation too. So I said, I'd feel more comfortable if you were there. So now I'm presenting at a Starbucks in front of 3 people. His mind was just like, I'm ready, I'm in. I signed the person that said no up on Saturday. Now his brother and his brother's girlfriend love it, but they don't know me. This is my first time meeting them. I pique them. I show them the presentation and they're like, this is pretty dang cool. They might need a couple days to sit on it, which I'm okay with, but they are still messaging me. So that's 3 possible prospects, but I still got that one person in. Do not give up and follow up. Do not walk away just because he said no. There's always opportunity that we can share with each other and help each other grow. There are so many people where I've done that for. It's like, hey, let's just build that professional relationship then. And then a week, a month, a year later, guess what? They sign up in my organization because they see what I'm doing, because they know I'm committed. They know I don't quit, and they see the results. Do not walk away and make sure you follow up. And this DMO is the best way to just go back and see all those names of the people that said no, that said maybe they were too busy. Whatever it is, everyone's circumstances change. So I hope we are now ready. Let's put in some friggin' work, you guys. We're at the 2nd week of April, and I really want this whole year to blow up the rest of the year for you guys, because I know I am on a different level, and I want every single one of you guys to like a different level than I've been last year. I'm on a new level right now, and I want all y'all to come with me. So thank you so much, Mr. Thomas. I appreciate the extra time. I know lately I've been going over, but I love you guys and thank you.